Hello, Curiosity Crew. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Corey.
And welcome to Project Wise After Hours. In today's activity, we are going to be making our very own flower craft out of recycled materials. Now, who's ready to wise up?
This activity relates to the field of environmental and biosystems engineering. These engineers use the principles of science and engineering to tackle problems like pollution and recycling, helping our world to stay clean and go green. At Clemson, environmental and biosystems engineering are a part of the College of Engineering, Computing, and Applied Sciences and do a lot of work in the Biosystems Research Complex.
To get started, let's talk about our materials. We'll need water bottles, scissors, washable kids paint, a paintbrush, hot glue, a hot glue gun, green straws, and a paint-safe workspace.
Please note that scissors and a hot glue gun are tricky to work with and can cause injury, so please be sure you have a parent or guardian's permission before beginning. Even more so, always ask for help if you're unsure.
Alright crew, it's time to craft.
Alrighty crew, time to get started. So like we mentioned before, today we're going to be making a recycled flower craft out of each part of this bottle. We're actually going to make one type of flower from the bottom, one type from the top, and our middle will serve a purpose as well. We'll find that out soon. So I'm going to take you through the bottom part today, and what we're going to do to start out is we're going to cut this bottom off about maybe a ½ inch or so down. We're going to cut this all the way down, so be careful with your scissors. Okay, so mine is pretty good, but I am going to trim off the edges a little bit just to make sure it's even. Again, be careful with your fingers here. And perfect, that looks good. So I'll just show you what I got here. Awesome. Caitlin's going to take you through the top now.
So to make the top flower, we're actually going to take the water bottle from about here where it starts to kind of change and curve, but you can do it with that bottle. So we're going to cut right about here. Alright, so as you can see, I got this part of the water bottle cut, and now we're going to make petals like so. So you can choose however many petals you want to make, or just see how it turns out. I'm going to just start cut like that. Alright, so now that we have our petals, we're going to bend them back. So as you can see, the bottle shape was like this. We're going to bend them up and try to pop them out to look like flowers. Alright, now as you can see, they've got kind of sharp edges on the corners, so we're going to use our scissors again to round those out just a little.
So before we get started, we're going to go ahead and paint these now as our next step. But we are going to want to kind of dry out the inside because this was a water bottle. There's probably some water in there. So let's go ahead, we'll dry that out super fast. Okay, and that way the paint can just stick a little bit better. So first thing we're going to do is, like I said, this is the front of my flower, and Caitlin will show hers in a sec, but what I'm going to do is actually paint the back of that way the color shows through. So I'm going to pick a color, any color I want, and you guys can pick any color you want or have. Just be creative here, it's your flower. So I'm going to pick a nice orange, I think. And I'm just going to carefully dip my paintbrush in and start painting the back. And I'll paint that all the way through. The other thing that I'm going to do is actually flip around to the front of the flower right here. And I'm going to paint this just a little dot of yellow because that's going to be the center of the flower. So while I'm painting that, Caitlin will take you through the front.
So with my flower, you can pick either side to paint, depending on how you want it to look. But you are always going to keep this as the front with the middle of the cap, and you're going to try to paint that yellow or whatever color you want to use. You can paint the petals any number of colors as well.
Alright crew, so just briefly here, Caitlin and I have finished our flowers. We're going to set these down so that they can dry a little bit, and then we'll come back for the next step.
So as we hinted before, we're going to use the middle of our bottle to make some leaves. But to save time, we already cut out our leaves and painted them. And they just kind of, have whatever shape you want to make. Here's one of them. Huh? And then Corey's going to show us how to make the stem.
Awesome. So we've got our leaves. Obviously a flower needs a stem, right? So all this is a green straw, and all we did was cut it in half because that was a good size for our flowers. You can use whatever size you want. This is just a perfect fit for us. So we cut our green straw in half, and now we're going to hot glue them onto our flower. So just to take you through that a little bit, again, remember that hot glue can be kind of hot, and you want to be really safe when you do this. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It can be kind of dangerous. So I'm going to take the hot glue. I'm going to use 2 dots. One I'm going to put right on the center of my flower, where I've got the bottom of the water bottle. And the other I'm going to put right at the edge. And then I'm going to stick that straw right on there flat and kind of hold it in to make sure that it solidifies on there nice and tight. Okay, so we're going to hold that on there for a little bit while Caitlin does her stem.
So I'm going to take the other half of the stem, and I'm actually going to put just 1 dot of glue on the back of the cap, which would be the top of the water bottle. Put my dot of glue there. Hold it for me. I'll just put that stem right on the back, and as Corey mentioned, I am going to hold it there for a few seconds just so it solidifies, because hot glue does take a minute. But now we're going to move on to the leaves on our stem. So if we take some of these leaves we've already got, and give Corey 2 as well, we are just going to, however you want to do it, hot glue them to one side of the stem so that they look like a flower line. So if you want to demonstrate how you're going to do that.
All I'm going to do, and this is kind of trial and error because those leaves are tough to work with, but I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the back of my stem, and then I'm going to stick those leaves on there quick before they dry, and kind of, again, try to hold it on there, that way it stays nice and tight and secures itself to the flower. Again, be careful with your hands though. You don't want to
Right.
your leaves on?
We do.
Excellent, crew. So as you can see, we've made these super cute little flowers here. You can gift them, you can display them, put them in a little pot, whatever you want, but these are our awesome flowers. Whew. We hope you enjoyed this demonstration and made some beautiful flowers. Always remember to root for each other and be excited to watch each other grow.
We're so glad you could join us for this episode of Project Wise After Hours. We'll see you next time, and until then, keep exploring.